Hey guys, welcome back here to Advanced Bass Fishing, and appreciate you guys coming by the channel for the episode today. We're going to be talking about fishing wing topwater lures today. These topwaters that have wings on them that sort of go through the water like this. These have been around for a long time, guys. A hidden crazy crawler has been around back, man, for 60 years or so. And you got some more modern versions like this Megabass eye wing right here. But there's a scenario and there's some situations where these wing topwaters hammer the fish, especially in the summertime of the year. So we're going to dig into that in today's episode here. And also, guys, I will put some of my favorite wing topwater lures in my Tackle Warehouse link in this video description. If you guys would like to try a wing topwater and you've never tried it before, you can use my link there in the description. It's a good way to help the channel. And also, guys, real quick reminder, anybody interested in booking a private on-the-water lesson with me, all you got to do is go to my Facebook page, Intuitive Angling with Randy Blaukat, and shoot me a private message for details. So appreciate that. Okay, guys, one of my earliest bass fishing memories was down at Grand Lake in Oklahoma. And I had a friend of mine down there that their mom and dad had a trailer house on the Horse Creek arm of Grand Lake. And they would go down there and they started telling me about they were walking the banks down there when the water was up in the willows and they were hammering them on that crazy crawler. Now, the crazy crawler, the crazy crawler is only about that big and it's got two wings on it like this, but it goes like this through the water. You just reel it through the water and it looks like a bird. And they told me about all the fish they were hammering on this crazy crawler. And I went down there on a couple trips with them and we caught some good ones in the willow trees on the crazy crawler down at Grand. So that was my first experience with that. And I've used them on and off throughout, the years, but they sort of like fell by the wayside because the crazy crawler never really took off, like a lot of other topwaters. But Megabass came out with this eye wing right here, which is a big advancement over the crazy crawler, just the attention to detail and different sizes. And guys, this thing looks just like a bird coming through the water. You just throw it out there and you just reel it in, and it just comes through the water just like this. It just looks like a bird trying to escape the water. It's really cool looking. And guys, bass will freaking hammer this under certain situations. So I'll give you guys some tips and advice on when the wing topwater works good. Okay, there's been two different scenarios that I like the wing topwater. Well, first, before we get into that, let's talk about the equipment on this. The equipment that you want to throw the wing topwater depends on the size of the wing topwater you're throwing. If you're throwing a little crazy crawler, just some type of a medium action bait caster, 12-pound test monofilament line is going to be good to go. But if you're fishing like the bigger eye wing, like the Megabass here, I'll put it on a flipping stick with like 20-pound test mono, something like that. You can use fluorocarbon on it since you don't let it really stop. You reel it through the water. You can get away with fluorocarbon, but I do use this on the flipping stick. But let's talk a little bit about the scenarios where this thing works. There's two primary situations where I've caught them good on the wing topwater. The first one we'll talk about, which is sort of situational, it's a great bait for smallmouth, for big smallmouth. So if you fish, any of you guys that fish up north, like on those big smallmouth fisheries like the Great Lakes or Champlain or St. Clair, you can take that wing topwater and you can burn it across the surface. You can reel it fast and it looks just like a bird trying to escape. Those giant smallmouth will come out of nowhere in that clear water and annihilate that thing. But moreover, for most people, the situations I've had the best success on the wing topwater has come fishing it around cover edges. Now the cover edges can be the side of the boat dock. It can be the side of a flooded willow tree like I was catching them on, side of a laydown tree. It can be down a shady bank where you have a shade line on it. But there's two elements that is really good for the crazy crawler on a man-made lake. And one is reeling it past a target and the other is fishing it on low light shady conditions like early or late in the day. It works better. I have found that it works better if you have water temperatures about over 70 degrees. And the water clarity can be a pretty wide-ranging water clarity. I've caught them in water visibility, anything between 12 inches visibility and 12 foot in clarity. I mean, I've caught some big smallmouth at Lake Champlain on them, 12 foot of clarity. Caught them down at Grand Lake in a foot of visibility and everything in between. But the only thing that you have to adjust on that is your retrieve. The cleaner the water, the faster that you want to retrieve it. So if it's, a foot of visibility or 2 foot of visibility, I'm just sort of reeling it just about like that. Just sort of like a slow, medium retrieve. Sometimes I'll pause it and stop it right by the edge of a target. And as that water gets cleaner, and especially if I get away from the cover, I speed it up to a faster retrieve like that. If I'm fishing open water whether it be for the smallmouth or just like an open water rocky bank where I'm not tossing it next to a target, I'll fish it with a pretty fast retrieve just to get a reaction strike. But if you do come past a target, like if you're pitching it down the edge of a shady boat dock, you need to slow it down just a little bit so we'll have some time to get it. But guys, it's a great bait, man. It's one of those baits that have withstood the test of time. I don't understand why a lot of people don't throw it more because it is such a good bass catcher. It works the best in a little bit, you know, when you don't have much wind. You don't want to have much chop on the water for that wing topwater to work good. I like either calm conditions or just a tiny, tiny bit of ripple on the water. It seems like it works the best. And of course, like anything else, it's gonna work better on a cloudy day or early or late in the day for topwater. So anyway, guys, just wanted to clue you in on that. I'll link, like I said, some of my favorite wing topwaters in this video description if you want to try one. Just another bait that you might want to add to your arsenal. So hope it helps out.